please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, good evening, everyone. We are meeting tonight for a special board meeting to take care of a few pressing matters of new business. So we do have no presentations tonight. Of course, next week is our budget vote and board elections, as well as Festival of the Arts, so it'll be a busy day, as well as the Michael Curtin celebrations. I'll take a motion to adopt the agenda. Mr. Scragg, seconded by Mr. Bronson. Any questions on the agenda? What's that? Oh, Mr. Biangasso, thank you.
Thank you. His spirit is here.
His spirit, yes. That would be something. Any questions on the agenda? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, we'll move on to new business. We have 4 items of new business. And the first item of new business is commencement of litigation. Do we have a motion? Ms. Meyer, seconded by Mr. Joyner. And this is to authorize the district to file a lawsuit. And this matter has been discussed in executive session previously. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to item number 2 is the approval of a confidential personnel agreement, a stipulation of settlement with an employee. Is there a motion? Ms. LaCara, seconded by Ms. Meyer. This also has been discussed in executive session on a number of occasions. Are there any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business item number 3 is the approval of a retirement incentive and a memorandum of agreement between South Huntington School District and the Teachers Association. Motion. Mr. Biangasso, seconded by Mr. Bronson. Dr. D'Elia.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. This agreement, originally we had this agreement tied to the ratification of the new teacher contract, and we're still working out the details of that contract, and with time being of the essence as we're getting near the end of the school year, we are recommending that we separate the two and make this eligible for all teachers that are eligible for retirement with or without penalty. And basically, the gist of it is their health insurance for teachers would go from 40% of their responsibility to cover would be cut in half to 20% until they hit 65, and then Medicare would take over from that point.
Okay, thank you. And also, if a teacher is now eligible to take this and they do not take it, they would no longer be eligible if there's another incentive that's offered in the replacement contract as well. So, any questions on this? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business item number 4 is discussion of purchase of automated external defibrillators. Is there a motion? Actually, excuse me, we don't need it. This is just a discussion. We don't need a motion on this. Yeah, this is not a resolution. So we previously received a letter last week from a resident who's also the head of the South Huntington Soccer, and they made us aware of a new law that is a good idea, but a little difficult for some of our community organizations, camps, and summer sports programs, where these organizations would have to make sure that they have somebody who is trained in the use of an automated external defibrillator and have one present at any camp and youth sports program. And obviously these are used quite frequently. Our fields are used extensively, all of our fields, by youth camps and youth sports programs throughout the year. And Dr. D'Elia, have you had an occasion to consider this, discuss, how any other of our neighboring districts are dealing with this?
Yeah, I know Half Hollow Hills has recently purchased AEDs for the youth camps and clubs and sports. And, the general consensus is that this really, it's supporting our community for any kind of, health issue that may occur related to their heart, the need of a defibrillator. So this is really supporting our community as well. So And, some districts are doing something about it, some districts are not. Maybe some districts are not really, it hasn't got to them yet, but I believe it will get to everybody. Because as Mr. Ciapetta said, this is very hard for individuals to transfer the AED from one person, one game to the next game. Who's the last one to have it? Where do they house it? I think by us making an investment in our community for their health is a good idea. And I think it's something that I would recommend.
And the
strongly.
state of defibrillators in our district, we have them inside each building, and then when there's a sport going on currently, somebody has to carry them around wherever they go? Or?
Correct. Yes, they're in all of our buildings inside, and Section 11 requires them for all of our sporting events that both teams must have them present on the field or in the gym, wherever they may be.
So if we had them outside, I guess that would satisfy that as well, right? Then if we put on the field, or
Yes, and also a lot of these youth sports take place on Sundays, and our buildings are closed, so they wouldn't have access if we kept doing business as usual. They wouldn't have access to these AEDs because we don't have our buildings are closed. So having them available, and some of the ones we kind of did some research with this. We looked at the ones that Half Hollow Hills have. They're stations that are standing, and when you take the AED out, it's connected to the second precinct, and it also an alarm goes off at that time, which would require the local law enforcement would be present, coming to it. Yep. They're very nice. They do come at a little bit of cost, but if we could save one community member's life, I think nobody's negotiating that price. So
as well as helping the community groups as well.
absolutely.
What's the board's thoughts on acquiring enough to have one at each school building facility? Ms. Meyer?
Certainly in favor of making sure that we have them available at all of our fields if it's that, kind of semi-permanent station. A question for you, Dr. Dalia, is there a training component that goes along with needing to use the AEDs? And would we be helping facilitate that with the community groups as well?
I mean, we can. I guess all the youth groups, when parents sign up or individuals sign up to be coaches, I believe they do offer some training, but we can also circle around that and see what it is and speak with the different groups. And if they need to have training, we can help facilitate. We wouldn't have an issue facilitating that training as well.
Thank
This
you.
might be a question more for Mr. Barth, but does the certification have to be provided by an independent organization, or can do coaches get trained by another coach here? Do you know?
I believe there is a certified trainer
Okay.
that provides the training, but I'm not sure with AEDs that you get a certificate. I'd have to look into that. I believe because a lot of times they couple the Heimlich maneuver
There's a
with AED training. With the Heimlich, you do get a certification.
Mr. Bigas, you want
There is a certification that you get for it. It's kind of similar to if you've done it through the Red Cross. Like they offer AED, CPR, first aid certification trainings. So there is some. They're typically cheaper. And I know, obviously, my affiliation with Southampton Soccer Club, it is cheaper because the AED one is a shorter course than if you're offering. But there is a proof that you can go through to actually show that somebody went through the training, which ideally I think we would need. Because, if we're having outside, not just Southampton Soccer, but any outside organization using our fields, we want to make sure that not just we're complying with the law, but they have people there that actually are trained to use the equipment.
So as part of their, I guess, facility use application, we might want to see a
Cor-
certificate that somebody has.
Correct. The other part of it is you can't obviously do that with individuals using the field. Like, if people, just random families go and use the field, you can't obviously, you're just trusting, but they do work the same way that, as you were saying, when you look at the ones we talked about, the town field, like the town fields have them where the same thing where they're connected to the second precinct. But unfortunately, you have to go through and break the glass to kind of get through when they put you through steps. But yes, it is ideally they're protected and they're encased as opposed to transporting them back and forth. And then the other issues is with the portable ones is obviously they're not waterproof too. So that's a big component of it as well. You really have to make sure that when you're transporting a portable, that you as best you can safeguarding it and keeping it dry.
And is that training good for a period of time, or it's one time?
Yeah, it is. I'm not sure exactly how long the window is, but yeah, it does have one. I don't know if it has to be renewed every season. It might be like 1 or 2 year thing, but it does have to be renewed. But it does work very similar to if you're going through other things for CPR and first aid. and it is less intensive because you're using one piece of equipment rather than a whole course where you're doing CPR first aid that might last a lot longer. And I also believe, and I'm not 100% sure on it, that I think they also offer them online. Don't know quite how that would work, but I think that they do.
All right, so we'll look into that, or potentially maybe we can have a training session here, invite the community, but I guess we'll look into that. What does everybody think? Everybody okay with moving forward with the purchase?
I was gonna say yes. What was the final number?
We would need eight.
We would need eight.
Eight of them, yeah. Yeah, we need Whitman, Stimson, Silaswood, 4 elementaries, and Memorial.
And then we'd add in the training as well. Trainings that might need to take place.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a cost though. The cost would just be the devices themselves.
I'm for it.
Okay. Okay. We have personnel schedule 22. That's the only one. Oh, excuse me. Personnel schedule 2 and 5, actually. Motion on personnel. Ms. Meyer, seconded by Mr. Joyner. Any questions on the personnel schedules? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Personnel schedules approved. We have, the next board meeting is the 21st. As I said, budget vote, board elections, followed by regular business meeting and the Michael Curtin Citizenship Awards. Comments by board members? Comment by Superintendent, Dr. Lilio.
Look forward to seeing everybody out and voting next week.
Voice of the residents, with Dr. Murphy.
Is that your Huntington, right?
All right. I think covered everything, right? Motion, take a motion to adjourn. Mr. Biangasso, seconded by Mr. Bronson. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, be well. We'll see you on Tuesday.